हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So we like if somebody is going on a morning walk and he's going for a jogging and he's working very hard. We don't give him a lift. We are seeing he's struggling and his poor fellow is running. So we should give him a lift. We don't do that, right? Because he is voluntarily taking that uh, pain, right? So when we come to spiritual life, we are decided to voluntarily take uh, that trouble which makes us progress in spiritual life. When we get some problems, we should not complain. Like say, if a child is playing on the sea beach and he constructed a small castle with sand. Now, his his father comes and says that, okay, let us go home. And no, the child says, yeah, I will come, but what about my castle? I don't want to leave it also. And he want to come home also, but he's attached to his castle. So then what father does? He comes and destroys the castle, which is made of sand. I know it so much pains the child, but it will help him to get out of it and go to the father to his house. Similarly, when we say to the Lord, I want to come to spiritual world, Lord will destroy whatever we have in the material world, because that is the only way we can come out of it. So we should not complain that things are going bad in life. Uh, so this is uh, this is actually very important understanding. Just a minute. So we should not complain. Uh, we should not complain when Lord is taking, because we ourselves ask the Lord that we want to come to spiritual world. So why question? Why the point of complaining? So now we here you see that any problems are there. It is we wanted that. We means we didn't want it, but we want spiritual world. You want the spiritual world means you have to lose everything in the material world. No, Yasyaham anugrahanani harishye taddanam sanai. Lord says that if I show mercy upon somebody, I will take away everything. Everything material will go only. We should be prepared for it. And it is good also. Less we have, more we can be happy in this world. That means, how can we know that whether I am happy or not? Is we should calculate how many less things I need to be happy in this world. That is the proof. Like outside people also, when we talk to them, when they say that, uh, how can you say that you are happy and we are not happy? So that is the argument. We say, oh, this spiritual life is happy, not material life. People will argue. How can you say that you are happy and we are not happy? That is actually a logical point. Now the point there is that uh, you have to ask, okay, how many things you need to be happy in life, and how many things spiritual life need to be happy in life. So when your list of the things are more and more to be happy in life, that means we are very miserable, because we will not get all the things. But in spiritual life, what we need is we should get a place to chant nicely and some prasadam, and then we want some association of devotees to hear Bhagavatam. Apart from that, actually, we don't need much. Other things we are making arrangements to do this only. The whole day, whatever working, this, that is to make arrangement to do these three things: chanting, hearing, and serving. That's all. So whether you work or we are in the kitchen, housekeeping or housemaking or taking care of children, everything so that everything is adjusted, we can do these things nicely. If that is not there, then it's actually a problem. So here we see that Bhagavatam is trying to help us understand what is the clear purpose. So every day, 1 hour in the morning, of course, sometimes 2 hours also for you, we hear so that we are reminded of the same thing. I don't need much in this world. I just need to hear about Krishna because I want to develop, I want to serve Krishna, I want to chant his name. Attachment to holy name is the greatest success. When His Holiness Radhanand Maharaj was asked, what is the what is the sweet you like? He said the holy name, sweetest thing. So that's a nice, actually, nice way to, he's giving an instruction, no? Like yesterday, I was coming in the train and I met a person. Actually, the place where I got down is a place I got in was the first stop, and where I had to go is the last stop. It's 1 hour journey, and that person, his place was where I started. So just to be with me, he came all the way 1 hour. He was supposed to go away. He saw some saffron color. He again came back and he sat in the train. And he traveled again all the way back 1 hour, and again he has to go back. But one important, actually, he was very sincere. He is a follower of Lord Rama. Very, very sincere. So he was actually telling that if you are really dedicated, proper, you should be able to sit and chant the holy name for 10 to 12 hours. I was feeling so embarrassed. And actually, he's telling the truth. He's telling, how can you say that, no, you are a saintly person if you cannot sit and chant the holy name for 10 to 12 hours? There is no attachment only for holy name. So it's such an embarrassing situation. But that is true anyway. I am not in the attachment. I was thinking maybe this is Krishna's instruction for me to understand what is the expectations from him and what is the standard. So we will continue the instructions actually which Prithu Maharaj gives. Is very wonderful instructions. So Prithu Maharaj entered the city, and then there was a description of how the city was decorated, and then how he was received. And both the important and common citizens welcomed the king very heartily, and he bestowed upon them their desired blessings. And then he says that King Prithu was greater than the greatest souls and was therefore worshipable by everyone. He performed many glorious activities in ruling over the service of the world and was always magnanimous. After achieving such a great success and a reputation which spread throughout the universe, he at last obtained the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. So these are all actually very important instructions that Bhagavatam is going to tell. So, and then what Prabhupada says is this is actually a responsible king. What a responsible king should do, the instructions are given here. And Sutta Goswami says that Osanaka, leader of the great says, after hearing Maitreya speak about the various activities of King Prithu, the original king was fully glorified and widely praised all over the world. Vidura, the great devotee, very submissively worshipped Maitreya Rishi and asked him the following question. So he wanted to know more about what Prithu Maharaj gave instructions. So he says that, my dear Brahmana Maitreya, it is very enlightening to understand that King Prithu was enthroned by the great sages and Brahmanas. All the demigods presented him the innumerable gifts, and he also expanded his influence upon personally receiving strength from Lord Vishnu. Thus, he greatly developed the earth. Of course, this is happening in Swayambhu Manvantara. so, it is a different time span. Prithumara was so great in his activities and magnanimous in his method of ruling that all the kings and the demigods on the various planets still follow in his footsteps. Who is there who will not try to hear about his glorious activities? I wish to hear more and more about Prithu Maharaj because his activities are so pious and auspicious. So this is what Vidra wanted to listen. So that is what we have to do in life. So Maitreya is telling, the great sage Maitreya told Vidra, my dear Vidra, King Prithu lived in the track between the two great rivers, Ganges and Yamuna, because he was very opulent. It appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune in order to diminish the results of his past pious activities. So this is one of the important lesson of fourth canto, that even pious activities are also not good for us. Like even Dhruva Maharaj also has to enjoy to diminish his, because he has performed many sacrifices. He acquired so much pious credits. That's why he has to go to Haridwar and he has to work upon remove all these pious credits also, so that he can go to spiritual world. So pious credits make us enjoy in this world, and impious credits will make us suffer in this world. But both of them will keep in this world. So Dhruva Maharaj acquired so much piety, he don't want it. He wants to remove it, so he has to go. So sacrifices help us to acquire pious credits, and that's why we discussed also previously that fourth canto is telling even sacrifices. That means the Vedic way of life don't work. That is what is fourth canto is trying to tell. Because third canto is telling, don't live in like a materialistic Hiranyaksha type. And fourth canto is telling, don't live even pious life also. Because both will not work. We have seen all the yajnas failed in the fourth canto, starting from Daksha Yajna. Before that, Atri Muni, he performed, and then Daksha Yajna, and then we have Prithu Maharaj Yajna is a failure, and Prachini Barshad will be a failure. Anga Yajna to get son is a failure because he got Vena. So all the yajnas from the beginning to end will be failure. That means you do everything perfectly, even in Vedic way also, the end result is not very glorious. So pious is also not good. So karmani nirdahati kintuja bhaktivaja. Karma is destroyed means good karma is also destroyed, not only bad karma, right? So Maharaj Prithu was an unrivaled king and possessed the scepter for ruling all the 7 islands on the surface of the globe. No one could disobey his irrevocable orders but the saintly persons, the Brahmanas, and the descendant of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now Prabhupada is telling us after these 7 islands are continents on the surface of the globe: Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Oceanica. So in the modern age, people are under the impression that during Vedic period of prehistoric ages, America and many other parts of the world are not being discovered. But that is not a fact. Prithu Maharaj ruled all over the world many thousands of years seven, before the so-called prehistoric age, and it's clearly mentioned here that those days not only were all the different parts of the world known, but they were also ruled by one king, Maharaj Prithu. The country where Prithu Maharaj resided must have been India, because it is stated in the 11th verse of this chapter that he lived in the tract of land between uh, rivers Ganges and Yamuna. This tract of land, which is called Brahmavarta, consists of what is known in the modern age as portions of Punjab and northern India. It is clear that the kings of India once ruled all over the world and that there was culture of Vedic. The culture was Vedic. So this is, it is true also, even if there are some relics found in some parts of America, here, there is some things related to Vedic culture. So the word Akhilata indicates that orders by the king could not be disobeyed by anyone in the entire world. Such orders, however, were never issued to control saintly persons or the descendants of the Supreme Personality of God. The Supreme Lord is known as Achyuta, and Lord Krishna is addressed as such by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Senayor Ubhyor Madhye Ratam Sthapyame Achyuta. So Achyuta refers to one who does not fall because he is never influenced by modes of material nature. So influenced by modes of material nature means we are affected by the dualities. I like, I don't like. Because always this modes of material nature has this effect. When a living entity falls down into the material world from this original position, he becomes Chuta, which means that he forgets his relationship with Achyuta. So actually every living entity part and parcel of Lord. When influenced by the modes of material nature, the living entity forgets his. So we get affected because of three modes only. So material designation creates differentiation in terms of caste, color, creed, nationality, etc. So this is all because of three modes. So what happens is there will be differences. A few differences will be there, but if we are affected by it, then we can see that we will be so much affected. Like say, children, they are so much attached to candies and chocolates and chocobos or whatever. Lollipop. Now, for a grown-up person, anything is a chocolate only. It does not matter because it's not affected by it. But for a child, they have so much discrimination. If you give one type of chocolate to one, if you have 4 5 children are there, and you give one different type of things to different, then they will start comparing and they become upset also. They say, no, I want that type only, I want this type. Why they are affected? Why they are so much affected? Because they are attached to that. Otherwise, a grown-up person, it's all chocolate only because he's not interested in them. But children are interested, so they have this. So similarly, we are in modes, then we get affected by it because we are attached to this material. So material designation, different gotras or family designations or distinctions in terms of the material body. But when one comes to Krishna consciousness, he immediately becomes one of the Achyuta Gotra. So then we see everybody as part of the Lord. We see even Pandita Samadarshinaha. So Sunicheva Supakecha Pandita Samadarshina. Why he is able to see? Because he is seeing the connection of them with the Lord. He is not seeing in terms of modes of material nature. So we have two visions. Either we see the world through the material identities, or we are seeing the world through in terms of Lord. Ishavashamidam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tektvena bunjita. So we are seeing in terms of the relation with the Lord. So that actually works. So this is not the way to look at this world. So here, all these distinctions because we are affected by modes. That's all. Otherwise, everything is good only. Our vision is bad. When we come to Krishna consciousness, it immediately becomes one of the Achyuta Gotra, the descendant of Supreme Lord, and thus becomes transcendental to all consideration of caste, color, and nationality. You see, he's transcending. So we transcend chocolate and candies, but we cannot transcend everything because our chocolates and candies have grown up. We have different candies. We want to have Tesla car or whatever, different cars and different houses. So our candies have grown up to a greater level. So Prithu Maharaj had no control over the Brahmana Kula, which refers to the learned scholars in Vedic knowledge, nor over the Vaishnavas who are above the consideration of Vedic knowledge. It therefore said, Arche Vishnu Shiladhir, Gurushu Naramatir, Vaishnave Jati Buddhir, Vaishnavanam yata Vishnurva Vaishnavanam Khali Mahala Mantane Padatirte Ambubuddha Sri Vishnur Namni Mantre Sakala Kalusha Hi Shabda Samanya Buddhir Vishnu Sarveshwareshe Tad Itara Samadhir Yashava Naraki Saha. One who thinks that the deity in the temple to be made of the wood or stone, who thinks of the spiritual master in the disciplic succession as an ordinary man, who thinks the Vaishnava in the Achyuta Gotra to belong to a certain caste or a creed, or who thinks of Charanamurti or Ganges water to be ordinary water, is taken to the residence of hell. This is according to Padmapana. Actually, he is already staying in hell. From the fact presented in this verse, it appears the people in general should be controlled by a king until they come to the platform of Vaishnavas and Brahmanas who are not under the control of anyone. Brahmana refers to one who knows Brahman or impersonal feature of the absolute truth, and a Vaishnava is one who serves the supreme personality of Godhead. Ekadasmin mahasatra diksha tatra dvikaukasa Samajo Brahma Arshi Namcha Rajarshi Namcha Sattama. Once upon a time, King Prithu initiated the performance of very great sacrifice in which great saintly Brahmanas, demigods from higher planet systems and great saintly kings known as the Rajishis all assembled together. So Prabhupada is telling that so in this verse, the most significant point is that although King Prithu's resident quarters were in India between the river Ganges and Yamuna, the demigods also participated in the great sacrifice he performed. This indicates that formerly demigods used to come to this planet. Similarly, great personalities like Arjuna, Yudhishthira and many others used to visit higher planet systems. Thus, there was an interplanetary communication via suitable airplanes and space vehicles. So this is actually ethereal travel. This is very subtle way of traveling, which we don't have the technology now. People are trying, at least they are having that conception to travel like that, but it is not possible because they are very gross. They need to be more subtle. In this great assembly, Maharaj Prithu first of all worshipped all the respective residents and according to their respective positions. After this, he stood up in the midst of the assembly, and it appeared that the full moon had arisen amongst the stars. Prabhupada is telling, according to Vedic system, the reception of great exalted personalities as arranged by Prithu Maharaj is that great sacrificial arena is very important. The first procedure is receiving guests is to wash their feet. It is learned from Vedic literature that one time when Maharaj Yudhishthira performed Rajasuya Yajna, Krishna took the charge of washing the feet of visitors. Similarly, Maharaj Prithu also arranged for the proper reception of the demigods, the saintly kings, the Brahmanas and the great sages. Paramshu Prinyata Bhujo Guro Kanjaru Nekshana Sunasa Saumukya Sunamyaha Pinam Shudvijasmitaha. King Prithu's body was tall and sturdy, and his complexion was fair. His arms were full and broad, and his eyes as bright as the rising sun. His nose was straight, his face very beautiful, and his personality grave. His teeth were set beautiful in his smiling face. So, Prabhupada said, among the four orders, the Kshatriyas, both men and women, are generally very beautiful. As will be apparent from the following verses, it is to be concluded that not only were Maharaj Prithu's bodily feature attractive as described here, but he had a specific all auspicious signs in his bodily construction. And it is said The face is indication of mind. One's mental constitution is exhibited by his facial features. The bodily features of a particular person, as exhibited in accordance with past deeds, for according to his one's past deeds, his next body features. So, whether in human society, animal society, or demigod society determined, this is the proof of transmigration. Very nice point Prabhupada is telling. It is how we are developing our internal body decides the external look. That is the proof. The chest of Maharaj Prithu was very broad. His waist was thin and his abdomen wrinkled of lines of skin, resembling in the construction of a leaf of a banyan tree. His navel was coiled and deep, and his thighs were of a golden hue, and his insteps were arched. I don't know how they know the details of his body, but anyway. So, any questions, comments before we end today's discussion? Okay. Thank you all very much. We'll continue tomorrow. Tantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.